Okay, today we're going back on the road to get another 5 questions answered from yet another great local Kung Fu master. Yep, all right, okay. Kung Fu Chronicles, we are back. And as promised, I am here with yet another 5 crucial questions for Kung Fu masters.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
This time around in the city of Bellflower, where Sifu Derrick Wright trains people in the art of 7-star praying mantis Kung Fu.
Who the hell has interrupted my Kung Fu?
And by the way, if you haven't already, subscribe below and hit the little bell so you get the notifications when I upload new videos. And you get those cool ass alerts. All right, so let's go check them out. Okay, another week, time to put the spotlight on yet another Kung Fu master. This time I'm with Sifu Derrick Wright from Wright's Kung Fu. Sifu Derrick, thank you for having me.
Thanks, sir.
And for those that don't know, we've got a little history together. Back in the day, we used to be classmates at Shantung Kung Fu years ago. You were like a black belt back then, and I was just starting. So give the audience kind of a feel of like how you started in Kung Fu, what were your motivations back then, and how you started your training.
All right, so about 12 years old, Southeast Missouri, I saw my first Kung Fu movie, Kung Fu Brothers, Soul Kung Fu Brothers or something like that, with Carl Scott. And after that movie, man, I was like, this is for me, this is for me. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to start until I joined the Marine Corps. So when I was in Okinawa, I was stationed in Okinawa, like in 1989, 1990, I found a gentleman by the name of Master Hokama, and he was teaching Tai Chi, Xingyin, Bagua, and I started training with him every weekend. And then I met up with one of his seniors, Norman Berlin, who was in the Air Force. He's a sergeant Air Force, so he traveled around the United States, and he was like a mesh of martial arts. He learned white crane, mantis, Bagua, Tai Chi, whatever martial art he kind of knew something about. So on the weekends, I would also train with him, and sometimes during the week, and he taught me some Southern Dragon. And then when I came back stateside, and after Desert Storm, Desert Shield, I moved to Southern California, and I found Sifu Derrick Wright. Right. And he invited me to one of his classes, and my first day was like a living hell because it was the middle of summer, and he closed those doors, he turned off the air conditioner,
I remember.
and we did that 5-foot down,
right?
And you know, those exercises, and before you even got started with the Kung Fu, you're hyperventilating, you feel like you're gonna pass out.
Right, the cardio king.
Yes, sir. Yes. But it taught me the value of hard work, and I was very happy to be in a traditional Chinese martial art system.
So good. You mentioned Master Edwards, and when you first started, he was doing Walam Kung Fu, I remember.
Yes,
so what made you want to transition to 7-star specifically?
Right. So Sifu Edwards also taught some 7-star in his curriculum. I learned Bung Bo, Chop Choi, Sup Lai Sao from him. And even though I did enjoy the Walam, when I started learning the 7-star, it really stuck with me, you know?
Yes.
So I remember one time he allowed me to compete at the Long Beach tournament, you know, the old Ed Parker's Long Beach tournament.
Yes, sir.
And I went there and I won 2nd place, and I was so excited. He said, I told you, you know? So we both kind of knew the 7-star kind of stuck with me. And then he invited Sifu Lee Kian Wing in conjunction with Sifu John Chang to hold a seminar at his school at the old Pasadena location, I think in 1997. Grandmaster Lee Kian Wing taught whirlwind step, 7-star mantis set, whirlwind step, and I was like, this is great. This is me. I mean, you know how it is. Sometimes when you find something and it fits with you, connect, like this is me, and that's kind of what I wanted to do. But you know, because of this circle, you know, Sifu Kenneth Edwards, I spent a lot, like 14 years with Sifu John Chang, and now with Grandmaster Lee Kian Wing, it was meant to be. You know what I mean? It's kind of like one led to the other. It was meant to be.
For sure, we all have our callings. Really quickly, for those that don't know some differences slightly between, say, Walam and 7-Star? I know 7-Star is a lot more involved, but just give a brief kind of.
Well, Walam is a true northern system in the sense that it's high kicks, a lot of acrobat, a lot of low stances, very good for visually, you know, good for competition. 7-Star, I feel in my opinion, is more direct. The stances are more medium stances instead of so low. A lot of hand techniques. The kicks are more, you know, low to the body and more straight, linear, more linear.
Yep, understood.
We do use the angles a lot, up and down, low and high, left and right, but it's just a different approach.
Okay, understood. And for those people that may want to train with you, you want to give some information so they can contact you?
So my name is Derrick Wright, Wright's Kung Fu Incorporated, and right now I teach more small groups and also private lessons. My phone number is 323-875-5449. You can find out more information about me at www.wrightskungfu.com, and also we're on Facebook and Instagram as well.
Excellent. So the segment, as you know, is called 5 Crucial Questions for Kung Fu Masters. And I'm ready to ask you the 5. You ready for it?
I think so. Yes,
all right, let's do it.
So when I was at Shantung Kung Fu and in Pasadena, I was training with Sifu Derrick Wright. One day he had just asked me, "Hey Derrick, have you ever thought about teaching martial arts?" And I was already helping out in class anyway, kind of like an assistant instructor, helping run the classes and the warm-ups and things like that. And that kind of put a seed in my head. After I got my black belt and started teaching on my own, I graduated from Santa Monica College and moved to San Francisco to attend San Francisco State, and I started a little club up there. Eventually moved back to Southern California and started a club at NoHo Gym in North Hollywood and in the park. And had a little group, about 20, 25 students, and saw a location. I was like, this is it. I kind of had that feeling that this is the right spot for me. Opened my first school out on faith. Didn't get a loan or anything, didn't have a lot of money, didn't have a lot of investors, just on my own, open up, didn't know how I was going to pay the rent the next month, but it just happened. My students had faith in me, and they invested in me, and we were able to start Wright's Kung Fu. For me, there's no controversy. So, you know, all martial arts have to evolve, and I think with the right attitude, the right perspective, MMA and BJJ kind of force traditional martial artists, like Kung Fu artists, to evolve. To make us realize that, you know, forms are not everything, weapons are not everything, they have their place, but we also have to focus on the self-defense and real self-defense, reality-based self-defense. You can't just teach students forms and expect that they're going to be able to fight. It just doesn't work that way.
Shit, Negro, that's all you had to say.
Forms have their place, and we're able to extract them and practice on them 1, 2, 3 steps and techniques, combinations. And so we can learn how to use those to develop techniques to fight with, right? The good thing about MMA is that they get to focus on the jab, the cross, the hook, the uppercut, things like that, kicks that make sense, and ground techniques, where, you know, traditional martial arts, a lot of time we have a vast number of techniques that we have to work on. And sometimes we have to find out what works immediately and teach those for self-defense, because a lot of students come to us because they want to learn how to protect themselves. They don't want to be tied up with learning a bunch of forms. So there's a balance, you know. So one instructor that I was under one time learning Tai Chi from told me that, you know, martial arts or Kung Fu is like a cart, like a horse and a cart. So one horse driving the cart is the forms, another horse is the fighting, another horse is the conditioning, right? And then we have also the Wu Ri, or the respect and discipline, the custom, the tradition of it, right? That makes it traditional martial arts. And we can't forget any part of that. And when we leave the fighting out or the self-defense, or it's not realistic or reality-based, that's when we're mocked. And people mock us because we're supposed to be martial arts. We call ourselves masters and Sifus, but we can't protect ourselves from the basic jab or from the basic cross, right? So it's very important that we take the fighting just as serious as we do the forms and the weapons and the tradition and the culture. It's very important, right? But I think, you know, there's nothing wrong with MMA. I think it has forced us to really look at our martial art more seriously and work harder. I did serve in the Marine Corps. I was an MP in the Marine Corps. I was in combat during Desert Storm, Desert Shield. And I think as a martial artist, what it brought to my training was discipline. It brought resilience. It brought commitment and respect. When, I've been doing martial arts now for almost 30 years, and I've seen people come and go. I see people want belts, they want rank, but they don't want to work hard for it. And nothing's been given to me. I had to earn it in the Marine Corps. I've had to earn it in the martial arts. So I think that being in the martial arts kind of gave me that can-do attitude, not to give up, but persevere and continue. So my understanding is that forms were created to pass on these invaluable arts to the next generation. So they're like books or like encyclopedias or dictionary, like the go-to. So back then, a lot of martial art masters were not very educated, and this is no offense, they just were, come from very lower socioeconomic status classes, so they couldn't read or write, so they had to find a way to pass on these arts to the next generation, to their students. So this is why forms are created, and there's nothing wrong with them. That's how we pass it down. However, it shouldn't be the only thing that we're doing. We also have to extract the techniques out and drill them, work on them fast, work on them slow, work on them hard, work on them soft, so that it becomes part of us. So Sifu Lee says the more you do your forms, it becomes part of you, becomes second nature, and you have to think about it in a self-defense situation because it's second nature to you. It comes to you naturally. But if you don't practice your system, you don't practice your forms, you have to think about it. And in a self-defense situation, you can't think. You have to react. You have to be honest. There has been challenges and barriers to that. However, like all things in life, obviously I can't change my color, can't change who I am. So you have to live with that, and you have to address that there are challenges and there are barriers, but you can't let them hold you back. You have to continue. So when I taught professionally as a professional martial arts, having a standalone commercial building, I did very, very well, even more so than some of my counterparts who were of a different race or nationality. So I think a lot of that is in the mind. If you think and you focus on that, that's what's going to happen to you. That's going to be your self-fulfilling prophecy. There's always going to be people that's not going to be willing to train with you because you're male, because you're black.
Now you know I'm not Chinese.
I noticed that.
Because you're whatever, sexual orientation, because your religion, because what you drive or where you live. You can't let that hold you back. You have to continue to, if teaching is your dream and sharing your art, that's what you have to focus on, and then the success will come.
I keep having this nagging feeling that I've forgotten something.
I think in order to become a professional instructor teaching martial arts, you have to have the heart and the passion to do it. If you're doing it just for the money,
Show me the money.
it's not going to work for you because the money's not going to come immediately. Like anything, it takes time. It takes time to perfect your business skills and your teaching skills, and you're always evolving and you're always changing until you can get it right, until you can present it to the public, and you can attract the right kind of students that's going to stick with you and help you become successful. So I think a lot of it is getting into it for the right reason. Also surrounding yourself around positive people helps, and always be willing to learn and not thinking that you know everything, coming with an open mind, and be willing to come with an empty cup.
Okay, so there you have it. Yet another 5 questions that we got answered from another Kung Fu master. Hopefully you guys got a little more insight into the day-to-day of a professional Kung Fu instructor. Keep checking for when I do another one of these with yet another Kung Fu master. And while you're at it, subscribe below if you haven't already, and let me know the type of questions you'd like to hear answered right here on the forum. Thanks again to Sifu Derrick Wright for being a part of this video.
My name is Sifu Derrick Wright, Wright's Kung Fu. Thank you for watching Kung Fu Chronicles.
See you guys in the next round, and keep punching.
How many times I told you not to call here and interrupt my kung fu?